Okay, good evening, everybody. We are back. We're going to move on to our council workshop. We have one item up here, Meet Me on Meeker, that take me way back when we first started talking about this here, and what great progress we have made with that opening coming into the city. So, Chad, you're here to take credit for Meet Me on Meeker, right?
I'll point to Kurt when the credit starts.
All right, I see Kurt back there. He's swimming, so.
On the execution side of it and the update.
All right, fair enough. All yours, Chad.
Thank you very much. I think I've got 30 minutes down. I'm not going to take nearly that long.
Okay.
I'll go through quickly. It's mostly a quick update, where we've been, where we're at, and then need some input from council on how to move forward on a specific item in front of Kent Elementary. So I'll get to that as we move along. Okay. This is a picture looking east on the far end of what used to be the par 3 golf course, and now is the Ethos project that's all completed, well, mostly completed. There are additional homes coming in, but a good example of what the vision was originally set, Meet Me on Meeker, and trying to get more of that hometown feel and promenade through there, try and increase bicycling, pedestrians, and providing a sense of place for Meeker as opposed to what we developed over the years, which was really a throughway for vehicles. Next slide, please, Kim. This is a slide we've used in our presentations to regional committees trying to get more money and grants for the project, which we've done very well at as a staff. Again, from a vision to a reality, this, if council remembers, I know many of you were on council at the time, ECD came forward, Economic and Community Development, Kurt's group came forward and said, hey, we want to try something different on Meeker Street. Got an outside consultant to come in and gave us some really visionary examples of what we could do with Meeker and how it could develop. And to be brutally honest, I didn't think it would go this fast and this far because we made a lot of progress. We go to the next slide. We've made our way, if you remember, Meet Me on Meeker really supposed to go essentially from the Green River over to Central Avenue. And we've made it from the Green River to 64th Avenue South with improvements. We had the F&W development on the par 3 site that's completed all the way to the driving range. Then we had improvements to the driving range. We got a TIB grant for a portion of that, and then also used capital dollars from the driving range project to complete frontage along there, along with Capital Resources Fund. Then moving east, that got us to Russell Road. Moving from Russell Road to the east again, we got another federal grant to complete the section in front of the Riverview Apartments. And then we had another private development, GRE, completed the Midtown 64 apartments, which got it completed from, these are all on the south side, completed the project from there over to 64th Avenue. And as these projects were going along, we were able to present at regional committees that we had a lot of private and public investment in the project, which got things really going. We've been able to get a lot of traction regionally to get grants. So the blue circle in the middle of this slide, we have design funds, and then we're on what they call the contingency list. We didn't score quite highly enough to get money to construct the project, but we're on the contingency list, and we are hopeful based on the amount of federal money that's in play, both in the region and nationally for infrastructure, that we are in a good place to make ourselves available if funding becomes or is able to come our way. In other words, they come back and they'll say, hey, we've got additional money in the region. Is anybody available to build a project now? We've moved forward with design so that if construction money becomes available, we can step forward and take advantage of that. So again, we're about 60% plus or minus design at the intersection of 64th and Meeker. This would do all 4 quadrants of the intersection. And then we're working on the design along Kent Elementary School. And over the course of the last few years, there are trees that are sited at the north edge of the school. There's a row of fairly mature trees that are along there. And for quite a while, we've taken a look at how can we keep these trees and work the Meeker Street improvements around them. And if you can go to the next slide, thanks. We've been in talks with the school district about working around the trees, and then more recently we've found from the school district they want to remove and replace those trees because it's causing a lot of trouble with their infrastructure on the south side of that row. There's a walking path in there and a field that the kids use, and the roots, they're very shallow roots. They're destroying portions of that part of the school. So that gives us an opportunity to build more of the Meeker standard section. What we were trying to do before was we were going to try and build, essentially, like I said, around those trees, assuming that school had wanted to keep them, because the word we got earlier was, hey, we'd like to keep them. However, as the years have progressed and the root damage has gotten worse, we understand they want to take them out, in which case, hey, we'd like to put in the Meeker standard, which is what the vision was from the beginning and what council had essentially authorized out there. The difference is we have the contingency money that we have potentially available on the Kent school site, or Kent Elementary School site. We put in a $2 million project. If we do the Meeker standard section, it's more like a $3.5 million project. And this is a very rough, and in getting ready for this, we didn't spend a lot of time or money trying to put together another rendering, but this was a rough rendering that we used internally when we were just discussing, hey, how are we going to move forward with this? So my apologies on this. Does not show the Meeker standard on the right side, but if you can visualize the earlier photo that was taken at the FNW site, we would put in the full Meeker standard along this section, assuming, one, that we were potentially awarded contingency funds, and two, it needed to come back to council with an ask for match money through the Capital Resources Fund to match the federal grant. So kind of teeing that up. We expect that in working with the school district, we think that they're going to remove and then replace the trees that are out there in the summer. There's the potential that we could get federal funds off the contingency list in the spring or into the summer. So none of these things are a given. I'm trying to set it up as a potential so there are no surprises later on. Go back one slide. So continuing to the east, east of Kent Elementary, I'm going to try and use this pointer, the old Kmart site. We still expect Kaiser Permanente to come in there and construct a medical facility. And we haven't heard of them stopping. In fact, the last communication we've had with them, we expect them there in about 2 years, plus or minus. That helps us, or has helped us to continue to spur this idea of developing Meeker along that north side from what we call fast food row. This is where Taco Time, Burger King, McDonald's, and the Chevron are, along with the driveway that serves the U.S. Post Office facility that's off of Meeker Street. And we're looking at options for an additional signal in there, along with some pretty significant frontage improvements. And this is where we got the Move Ahead Washington Act money. Brianna Murray did a tremendous job. We went on tours with the legislators, and our local legislative delegation did an even more tremendous job at including $10 million for Meeker in that Move Ahead Washington Act. That money is not programmed. That's a 16-year budget that's set up for that act. And we're needing to work with the legislature this spring to set that money in certain biennia. So we're trying to get it in the early biennia, and starting like in 23, 25 range, or 25, 27 range, as opposed to moving it to the back of that 16-year time frame, because that $10 million seems like a lot now, and it's going to get smaller and smaller as the years go on. So we're trying to move ahead quickly. No pun intended. We also, if that section, Kelly and I argued about this, I see that as amber or yellow, he sees it as orange, but the next section over, this is an area where we have a federal grant that's available federal fiscal year 25 that we just got last summer. So this was approved in June by the PSRC. We are in line for $4.76 million to finish the section from Thompson Avenue. This is a very small little road that most people drive right by after you go underneath 167 on Meeker. There's a little road that tees off to the north. That's Thompson Avenue. From there to the interurban trail. So this would get us, and then, thanks, Kim, 2 slides forward. This gets us from Thompson, which is on the left side of the yellow area there, over to the interurban, just past it, and then including a new roundabout at the intersection of Lincoln and Meeker, which would help with the Naden site, the additional traffic from the Naden site, and then the new Madison Plaza apartment complex that's at between Madison Avenue and 7th Avenue, and then, of course, the new Ovation project that's out between 4th and 6th on Meeker Street. So we expect a lot more traffic in the area. If you've gone through that intersection much, going westbound, it's pretty tough to get through there. And then we feel the roundabout would combine or provide a combination of really good traffic safety, good traffic operations, and then improve capacity for as we increase the population, downtown population. So the big kind of I guess thumbs up or ask for today is, would council be comfortable moving ahead with the full Meeker standard in front of Kent Elementary and that potential additional costs? Again, we would come back with a final cost estimate and a final approval, but in designing it, we want to move forward with one approach or the other. The lighter version that, again, we thought we would move forward with if the district had decided to keep the trees versus the more complete version. Now the district is going to remove and replace that row of trees.
Thank Chad. I think, in my opinion, we have made a huge investment in the gateway, right? And it's just been really phenomenal. I think Councilman McCoy, we sat on a lot of those meetings early on with the Meet Me on Meeker, right? And Kurt and his team bringing the visualization to us and really brought it home with the gateway. And from my opinion, we, like at the 5-yard line, right? Why don't we just finish it, right? We don't want to do a Russell Wilson and throw it. We want to run it on in, okay? So it would be my vote to let's move forward with the standard and just close the deal. So we've come this far now, so why not just go ahead and finish it up? So that's my thoughts. I see the light lit up, and I will start with Councilmember Lummer.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Chad, I guess help me understand. So it's going to cost us $1.5 million more with the trees being removed. I guess break down the cost for me. What is that $1.5 million additional?
Yeah, so the tree removal actually is the district's removal and replacement. The more complete section that we plan on putting out there, that includes concrete, the concrete for the bicycles. And actually, Kim, if you could go back to that first slide or even the second. 2 more. Perfect. So the kind of lighter version, the concrete, that's really a bike lane going down kind of the middle of the picture with the pavers as a center line. That was going to be down at grade and sidewalk, and then we would have parking outside of that, and then just a regular sidewalk on the inbound side or right close to the school. And part of it was we were trying to anticipate how much more damage could be caused by those tree roots, and understanding that we were really making an investment that was going to be not, I wouldn't say temporary, but semi-permanent, because we would end up continuing to take on damage from the tree roots. We understood the advantage of keeping them to a degree, from the environment that they create out there, but at the same time, we didn't want to spend a whole lot of money providing that lighter section. Now that that's not going to be an issue, the additional money is putting in that full bike lane and the full standards with we call it the amenity zones and the furniture and the lighting and everything that goes along with it.
Okay, so all that lighting and stuff would have been absent in the previous plan.
That would be just mostly the street lighting.
Okay, thank you. And then just also, I'm assuming, we have standards when construction pulls out trees and replaces them, and I'm assuming that we'll be holding the school district to those standards.
We've talked to the district about what their plans are, and we think that they're actually going to go with a greater number of slightly lower growing trees, and that they think they could control a little bit better with regard to the root intrusion. So they are fully on board with replacing what's coming out.
Okay, you know me, I don't like to see any trees go, but okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Councilman Michaud, followed by Fincher.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you for the presentation. I agree with Council President that if we're going to do something, let's just do it right. I am having difficulty understanding what the difference is between option 1 and option 2. I understand that the more expensive one will look like that picture we just saw. But what is option 1?
Yeah, this is where we were really basically going to reconstruct the sidewalk that's there, again, because we have a lot of root intrusion damage on that sidewalk. We're going to use the existing sidewalk, replace the existing sidewalk, use the existing storm system, move the traffic to the north and use the existing street as the bikeway and just use paint to develop the bikeway as opposed to going with the full aesthetic that the full standards provide. And so we were going to save a lot of money there, and again, with this thought that it's kind of an interim solution to trying to deal with the root intrusion problem.
Okay, that makes more sense. The previous picture that we saw, that has trees and stuff, so there will be trees. Plus the school district says they're going to replace the trees, so yeah, I agree that we should do it right.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Michaud. Councilman Fincher?
Thank you. As you probably would guess, it disheartens me whenever trees have to be removed. So I'm with Councilmember Lorimer on that. But on the other hand, I do really like the look of this. I like that the continuity that will be held, having it going down as hopefully all the way down to the historical downtown as we planned. So I think that will be good. I like that the bikes will not have to go from the concrete to the pavement to the concrete to the pavement. So I like that also. So I like the look of it. I really like this picture here. I think it's really good for our city. I wish that we could have that all over the city. But yes, I would be supporting that. Thank you. Oh, I did have one more question. So are they going to be replacing these with trees that are not shallow growing roots?
We haven't talked about a species yet, but yes, that's the intent, is that they would look at a different tree type that would go down instead of out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can we give a thumbs up to Chad? See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Councilman Thomas? Sure. Okay. All righty.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's fun to be moving along, and staff will be excited to hear we've got direction which way to go.
I want you to know this still is Kirk baby, okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Hey, good job, Chad. Thank you. Thank you, council members. That's all we had for our workshop today. So we're going to recess and take a break, and we'll resume at 7 o'clock for our council meeting. So thank you.